Hello, 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 and welcome everyone. Welcome to a new dream today. Hello, hello guys. Normally this would be the part where I introduce myself, and I'm trying not to do that anymore. You guys know, of course, you can go to the VOD channel for previous streams that we've done. You can go to the schedule tab to see what we're doing this week, stuff like that. So yeah, we're playing Dark Knights today. We're gonna finish that up. We're gonna finish up the Junoru route and see where that takes us. Last time we played, we were in a, what's it called? Flashback? Yeah, we were in a flashback with Junoru, and we were learning about him and his brother, and we learned that they had a really hard time growing up because their parents were murdered, and they ended up growing up alone, and they had to live through like, I think it was like a century before they met us in the current timeline. So they've been around for a while. Junoru's been around for a while, so we're going to try to see what we can do to help Junoru now that Roya is gone, and we have Jace and Blace back in the story, and they seem to know Junoru from like the past, and they had something to do with his parents' murder. So yeah, if you're interested in watching the first parts of Dark Knights or the first parts to this playthrough of Junoru route, go ahead and go to the VOD channel, but otherwise we're going to jump in and get started. So yeah, let's go ahead and load. Hold on, I want to pop this out. I want to put this right here. There we go. There we go. Alright. Oh, let me turn that off. There we go. Perfect. Alright, load. We're in flashback, day 4444. Bro, wake up. So we're still in the flashback. They're adults now, I think. Roya shook my body. I rubbed my eyes, only half realizing it was nighttime. Roya wore an expression of panic. The last time I had seen him like this was years ago. My eyes trailed down and noticed blood spilling out of several fresh gunshot wounds on him. We should hide in the basement. There are hunters, and they're trained to kill the living dead. They might even know about this. Uh-oh. A nearby flower pot was shattered into pieces. I thought in a place like this would be a perfect hiding spot. Ugh. I finally found you. I could have sworn I got you in the joints earlier, though. Is the other one the living dead too? Be careful, she's strong. I was caught off guard when something pierced through my leg. Glancing down, I realized I had been shot. I have a bad habit of talking too much. 2 against 1, huh? I only know the blonde one's powers, but I'm glad the other one seems weak. Rude. Roya pushed me aside at the crackling of another gunshot, taking the bullet in his shoulder. Rather than being afraid of the woman, I was terrified to lose my brother. We could run, but that would certainly be useless against an experienced hunter, not to mention that she could still attack us from a long distance. Either way, Roya appeared to be too wounded to do anything. It was my duty to protect him. I concentrated my thoughts on the furniture and hurled them at the woman using my telekinesis. I used her momentary shock to create an opening. I dashed close to her and grabbed the gun right out of her hand. Ooh, smart. Get away from her! Uh-oh. It was too late for me to react. The woman smirked as she stared me in the eyes. You two are pretty rare as far as living dead go. I wish I could take you both back in one piece, but you've given me no other choice. I'll try to be gentle with you, so don't give me any more trouble. Sweet dreams. I followed the woman's gaze to find a dart stabbed into my chest. I stepped backwards and pulled it out, but I could already feel my body burning as it fought against whatever drug I had been injected with. When I turned around, I saw that Roya had already passed out. I figured he must have been drugged earlier. As the woman pulled another gun out of her holster, I sent every inanimate object in the room flying in a random direction. Oh. I hoisted Roya onto my back and rushed towards the basement, carefully continuing my attack while I fled. My body was already slowing down as if I was gradually falling asleep. I blindly brushed my fingers against the wall until I heard something click open. When I stepped past the entryway, I heard footsteps coming down the hallway. I swiftly shut the door behind us and locked it. She should not be able to get in here. I'm so tired. That was Junoru's voice, not Roy's voice. Junoru closed the photo up and leaned back against the couch. Okay, that was the end of the flashback. Okay, we should have just ended it last time, but okay. I didn't know how much longer that flashback would go. What happened after that? That's not her voice. What happened after that? Well, I woke up and I realized a century had passed. Roy awoke a few years after that. Oh my goodness, were you okay? Of course. After all, I'm here before you. I can't imagine how it feels to sleep for so long. Thank you for telling me about your past. Junoru nervously rubs his face. Okay. You can tell me anything. Nope. Wrong. We're gonna load. You've gone through so much. There we go. It sounds so painful. It is difficult to live when people you care about die, one after the other. It is... You're not alone. I wrap my arms around Junoru, gently embracing him. As he pulls away, he gazes straight into my eyes. Thinking about it, I should not have hidden this so long. Junoru's head falls in shame. I take his hands in mine. It's all in the past, and it wasn't your fault. You don't need to feel guilty forever. If you need someone to forgive you, then I will. He slowly looks up, smiling weakly. Evillan, your empathy continues to surprise me. I genuinely feel better now that I've told you the entire story. I didn't expect so much scientific research behind the supernatural. Now I understand more of the current situation. Speaking of science, my parents were always into it. Perhaps I can look into their research history. That would be a great help. Thank you for considering. It's thanks to your story that gave me a lead. I reached for my cup but realized it was already empty. Would you like another cup of tea? Yes, please. He quickly returns with the tea and snacks. It seems like he's always well prepared for my visits. Why do you have snacks if you can't even eat them? I sometimes force myself to consume them. Doesn't it cause you immense pain? Yes, but I want my injuries to heal properly, and it makes me look a bit healthier. Aw, look at that blush. Poor Junoru. The man blushes and nervously rubs the back of his neck. While we enjoy the tea, I share my own past with Junoru. Although it is not as exciting as his, he still seems intrigued by it. I always lose track of time when I'm with Junoru. I barely remember to head home before nightfall. Escape. Alright, I think this is the last chapter of the Junoru route. We'll have to see. I have some ramen with me today. I'm just gonna eat a little bit of ramen real quick while it's still hot. I was trying to have lunch before stream, but I always forget. I'm so bad at eating. You never skip class, Evillan. I was so worried about you. Iki practically barges in after dinner, both upset and relieved to see that I'm alright. I wasn't feeling well, but don't worry, I'm okay now. Why didn't you call me? I could have brought something to make you feel better. Iki tilts her head and looks up at me from different angles. I do not like to admit it, but my secrets have become so overwhelming that I have avoided talking to Iki completely. That's rude. There's one detail, however, that I can no longer hold back from one of my best friends. To be honest, there's someone I'm interested in. Uh-oh. Iki looks at me with sparkling eyes, just excited to hear all the details. Do you like him as in like him, or like him? I don't know, but I've been feeling happier around him lately. Oh my gosh, it finally happened! You're in love! How long have you two been secretly dating? Ikia, it's not like that. We're just friends. Then ask him out. It's a bit complicated. That's what they all say, but what matters the most is how you feel. Just describe it in one sentence. Fine, fine. I like him, okay? I know you're not the lovey-dovey type, but your feelings are important. When are you going to tell him? I rest my arms on the table and shake my head. I don't think he feels the same way. Wanting more from a relationship would be selfish, so it's best that we just keep things as they are. No. Besides, he already has enough on his mind. That's true, but I still think he likes us. I don't want to add more to his plate. It's just like you to put someone else's feelings above yours, Evillan. Try to look at it from his point of view, though. What if he feels the same way, but is also worried about burdening you? If neither of you ever say anything, this could turn into such a sad story. I don't know. You shouldn't regret telling the truth, even if it makes things more difficult. That's true. That's a good idea. That's a good advice. You should never regret telling the truth, even if it makes things more difficult. The truth always should come out. She grins and leans in to hug my arm. Her words get me thinking. Sometimes I'm able to bear the consequences of my actions, but I would rather make the choice than regret missing the opportunity. In my current state, the best I can do is wait for the right time. By the way, can I stay here for tonight, please? My brother is gone for a while, and I don't want to be home all alone. That's true, there is a serial killer out there. Oh, that's why you're really here, huh? I don't mind if you stay. Have you told him, though? Of course. We talk to each other all the time. I'm really curious about her brother. We've heard a lot about him, but we've never seen him. Anyway, if your crush comes by, I'll get the chance to meet him. This will be even more fun than I hoped. Ah, stop it. Don't get your hopes up too high. You're getting all flustered. We chit-chat late into the night. Finally, I led her to the guest room and head to bed myself. Even after lying in bed, however, I have a hard time falling asleep. It may be because of what Iki said, but I cannot get Junoru out of my head. Some of his words flashed through my mind. Some of his words? Should be like all of his words. What if someone was only living for the sake of being alive, unable to even enrich the lives around them? What is the purpose of an existence that only brings disaster? He might actually believe that. You're quickly becoming a guilty pleasure of mine, Miss Evillan. No matter what happens, you always return with a smile. I am with you now, so there's no need to be scared. All these memories. Junoru, have you been happier since we first met? I feel like your sadness is starting to fade. A knock from the window causes me to jump up from my bed. Annoyed, I shove the curtains aside. The last time someone visited like this, it was Chain. Wait. I find myself face to face with Blace, who's already opened the window halfway. Blace? What the fuck? Iki is like in the other room. He gestures for me to stay quiet as he slides the glass open even further and lets himself in. Iki is gonna think it's Blace that's our crush. Wait, I'm confused. I know this isn't the best timing, but I wanted to talk with you. What's so important that you had to sneak through my window in the middle of the night? I'll keep it simple. You need to stay away from Junoru. Tell me something I don't know. Everyone in this village seems to have a vendetta against him. Haven't you figured it out by now? Junoru is the cause of the living dead. No, he's not. There's no proof that he killed those people. I didn't say that. You know, after his awakening, the living dead went mad. His mere existence agitates and attracts them. It's because he carries traces of a substance they instinctively need to cure themselves and survive. Jace told me himself that he hardly knows anything about Junoru anymore. In fact, I know a lot more about him than either of you do. Blace glares at me, anger and disbelief burning in his eyes. I clench my fists and stare right back at him. I do not want to ask, but I have a bad feeling about where our conversation is leading. Blace, what are you planning to do with Junoru? What are you planning? That's my love interest you're trying to attack. You better be good. A hint of sadness crosses his face. I wait for an answer, but he turns away without responding. Jace told me you let Junoru go before. Have you changed your mind? A soft sigh emanates from his body as he begins pacing around the room. His back is still turned to me when he finally speaks in a low tone. I'm giving you this piece of advice so you won't get hurt. You won't forgive me for what I'm planning to do anyway. The less attached you are, the less you'll suffer. We're already attached. The last thing I want is to spread grief and sadness, but it simply can't be avoided for the greater good. The greater good? The last of his words slow into a soft mumble as if he's steadily losing his train of thought. I can see an invisible weight on his shoulders. Slowly I reach out to him. If there's anything I can do, tell me. Uh-oh. There it is. See, I knew it. Iki is gonna come in. She's gonna think it's Jace. Because why else would Jace be in our house in the middle of the night? At this moment, the door of my room swings open. We both look at the sleepy face of Ikia. Ikia? I hear voices. Who are you talking to, Evillan? Oh, you didn't tell me about the second guest. Oh, right. Sorry for waking you up. She rubs her eyes and takes another look at Blace. A second passes by before a knowing grin spreads across her face. Good night, Blace and Evillan. Don't mind me. Just keep going. Oh my god. She slides out of my room and softly closes the door. Her footsteps are so quiet I can barely hear them as she returns to the guest room. We remain awkwardly silent after she leaves. Finally, Blace lets out a sigh and turns to me. As I was saying, cut your ties with Junoru. He isn't worth it. His presence will only continue to cause more damage. That hasn't changed. Besides, he is a dead man to begin with. Memories of Junoru flash through my mind as if to protest the very idea. I clench my fist as rage bubbles up inside me. I cannot hold back any longer. After you destroyed his family and his home, even after you tried to send him to hell, he has shown the village nothing but kindness. Maybe you didn't have a choice to leave him alone all those years ago, but you have a choice now. Blace closes his eyes as I speak. He doesn't say a word in response to my outburst. If you have nothing more to say, go home. He thrusts his hands in his pocket and proceeds to leave. Before he closes the door, he speaks in a soft voice. Oh, you're going out the door? Okay. Let me know when you have an actual solution for handling the living dead. Good night. Goodbye. The next day, Iki and I walked to school together. Oh my god, Iki. She's never gonna let us live that down. Hey! Why was it so quiet last night? I expected something more. What were you expecting? I frown and focus on the road ahead. Nothing is going on. We just had a discussion. If it was anything else, I would have told you. Something seems to be on your mind. Tell me, Evillan. Iki pats my shoulder and leans closer to me. Being the caring friend she is, I decided I cannot leave her in the dark. The situation's a bit complicated, but I'll try to explain. Is this about Junoru? You're good at guessing. We've been friends for so long. Oh, we've been friends long enough for me to understand you without needing any words. You're worried about him, aren't you? I slowly nod and slide my hands into my pockets. If he's in a tough spot, keep giving him your support, no matter what other people think. The most important thing is to listen to what he says, what he wants. If he's happy, it'll put you at ease too, right? Yeah, but what if his decision is to sacrifice his own happiness? He should consider the consequences in the long run. Ikia tilts her head slightly and rubs her chin in thought. Will you be able to live with what he chooses? Don't forget yourself in the picture. I will need to talk with him. Thank you, Ikia. Today I see Jace attending class without Blace. His brother is nowhere to be seen, because he goes to the night classes. Between classes, Jace politely steps away from the other students, looking to converse with him. Unlike his brother, he is quite popular, but he still seems to prefer being alone as much as possible. Well, this actually makes it easier to confront with him. Is Jace in the room? Is Blace in the room, I mean? I'm confused. Jace watches the students passing by in the hallway. When I approach him, he looks up in surprise. Yo, Evillan, is something up? I was wondering where your brother is. He's just not feeling well today. Do I need to pass on a message? He came to my place last night. I didn't think he'd get sick after that. Jace frowns and scratches the back of his head. Suddenly, he stands up and nudges me towards a quieter place. I follow him. Eh? Sorry. I don't like to talk about these things out in the open. There's an empty classroom just across the hall. Why don't we chat over there? Okay. So let me guess. He told you what our plans with Junoru are. Not in so many words. Well, he was kind of vague about it. We decided to end things with Junoru. You know, about the changes in the village. It's getting worse too. Blace and I can't attend school together because one of us has to constantly monitor the living dead situation in the village. Is it really Junoru causing the living dead issue in the village, though? Is it really his fault? Because if it wasn't for Jace and Blace killing his parents, he never would have become a living dead. So, which, they weren't doing anything wrong. They were just being accused of selling a immortality potion, which they didn't do. So, it's kind of on Jace and Blace, I think. Why did the two of you transfer to the school in the first place? For various reasons. We wanted to observe our targets. And you. My eyes widen in surprise. Jace chuckles at my reaction before waving his words off as a joke. Students are easy victims because most of you are so clueless. It's a lot easier to protect people by being near them, you know? I've never felt safe in your presence. Subtlety, Evillan. If people knew our intentions, we might cause a panic. But aside from that, we need to change of pace. Years of interacting with just one person becomes boring, you know? Jace gazes at me for a moment as if gauging my response. I've said my bit, so tell me, what do you really want to talk about? When you said you were going to end things with Junoru, you're not actually planning to kill him, right? For now, no. Blaze has trouble making up his mind lately. If the decision was in my hands, Junoru would have been buried long ago. Sorry, that might have been too much for you. My brother's the only one I have left. Junoru may have been our friend, but things change. People change. I don't live in the past anymore, but Blaze is still suffering. This whole thing would be over if he just made up his mind. Have you guys talked about it with Junoru? Jace chuckles at my question and crosses his arms. He leans towards me, his eyes filled with curiosity. Why do you think he's been avoiding us? Exactly. Not even forgiveness can erase the trauma of past events. You guys did kill his parents and, like, ruin his life. I see. He did think you guys were his friends, but then you guys did, like, unthinkable things. The conversation with Jace leaves a tight feeling in my chest. I return to my classroom shortly afterwards. I actually take notes in class. Concentrating on every word from the teacher keeps me from worrying. I don't know when the twins will take action, but there isn't much time left. I need to talk to Junoru as soon as possible. Perhaps he already knows. Will he just accept his fate? That's true. Junoru is pretty, like... He has bad self-esteem issues. And now that Roya's not around, there's not really much reason for him to continue on. Other than us, I suppose. Will probably end up being his, like, reason for living. Dot, 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 dot. I gaze up at the overcast sky. The weather seems to match my mood. It is not long before I make it to the mansion. The whole vibe of it has changed since I first saw it. Brighter, but somehow lonelier, too. When I reach the entrance, I notice the door is left open. I let myself in. Uh-oh. Hey, Ju, I hope you don't mind that I came by. No answer. Perhaps he did not hear me. I should look for him. His room is the first place to come to mind. Even though I have been here before, I cannot remember exactly where it was. All the doors look the same, too. I count the doors, trying to guess his room's location. I stop at a random door and open it. Blood. A room covered in blood greets me. Alarmed, I quickly try to analyze the situation. Judging by the color, the blood is still fresh. I look around the hallway for further clues about what happened, but there are none. Whoever or whatever caused this did not pass through here. I enter the bloody room and move towards the windows. The edges of the broken glass are smeared with blood. If any of the blood here is from Junoru. Oh no, am I too late? No, don't jump to conclusions. I need to investigate further. I hurriedly exit the room and check the ones next to it. All of them are completely destroyed, as if a beast roamed through them. The more destruction I find, the more color drains from my face. Junoru, where are you? Just before I leave the room, I catch sight of a small box half buried under all the mess. I've seen this box before. If its opening mechanism is as Junoru described, then it must be. I carefully pick up the box and search for the button that opens it. To my surprise, the bottle is still inside. This is undoubtedly the Kenrigi heirloom, their potion of immortality. My continued search eventually leads me to the library. I walk past the shelves but cannot find who I'm looking for. As I head upstairs, I bump into Ryoji. Oh, hey, Ryoji. Hey, what brings you here? I'm looking for someone. Have you seen a tall guy with dark hair and golden eyes wearing a dark blue uniform? Nope, I haven't been paying attention to the people passing by. Thanks anyway. I turn to leave, but Ryoji puts a hand on my shoulder to stop me. Hey, just a heads up. The police have asked the school to close for at least a week, and the teachers will probably announce it soon. I might as well tell you first. Why? What? Why? Why do you have to tell us first? Why do you always, give us information? Especially things that, before it gets announced. As I heard it, new evidence the police found strongly suggests that the murderer is one of the students, so they need to investigate the premise and carry out interrogations. Our entire student body isn't exactly a small group of suspects. Interrogating all possible leads will probably take ages. What else do you know? Evillan, I know you care about the villagers as much as I do, but it's dangerous for you to involve yourself, and suspicious. Your track record of violent outbursts at school doesn't exactly help. You know, I never hurt an innocent person. Well, I know the kind of person you are. The police don't. Skipping class, nosing around fresh crime scenes, you need to be more careful. Ryoji, I know it doesn't look great, and I know it's dangerous, but I can't just stand by while people get hurt. Yeah, I know. I'll tell you what, Evillan. If any more details about what happened here come to light, I'll let you know whatever I hear. Just don't do anything rash. Okay. So he's warning us, because we're going to be a suspect. As we always are in each route, it seems. Because we get involved. I smile at him gratefully, and he leaves the library. My thoughts return to what Blace told me yesterday. Is it possible Jace lied about them not pursuing Junoru? Well, if the investigators discover something about Junoru or what the twins may have done to him, I'm sure Ryoji will tell me. There's nothing here. I should head home before it gets too late. They're just giving up on Junoru? I enter the living room and stare at the couch. My body is tired and my mind is stressed, worrying over what could have happened to Junoru. No, I can't give up. My parents have published research about strange autopsy cases before. What do your parents even do? It's a long shot, but there might be something related to these recent deaths. I searched my parents' home office with the hope of finding any remotely related case studies. After sorting through a few scientific journals my parents have been published in, I come across a strange leather-bound volume sold and starting to fall apart. My heart stops at the word Kenriji written on the first page. Looking at the date, I realize this is a diary written by my great-great-grandfather more than a century ago. Oh. He writes that he worked with the Kenriji family, but due to very vaguely detailed incident, everyone working on the project was fired. My great-great-grandfather went undercover to gather information about former employees who became angry and even violent towards the Kenriji family. Okay, so this is about what happened with Junoru's parents. When they made the immortality potion, they fired everybody because they were worried that people were going to go after the immortality potion, which was true. They did have people go after it. Her great-great-grandfather being a employee of the Kenriji family, though, is a little on the nose, I think. But it does tie in pretty well into, why she knows so much and why she's so, invested, right? Why does her family even have this old leather-bound journal, too? What were they doing with it? Were they just holding on to it? And if it's from her great-great-grandfather, that's a really old journal. Wouldn't it be with, memorabilia stuff? Why would it be in, the home office with all of her parents' research? Before he could finish his work, however, the family disappeared. Toward the back of the diary, my great-great-grandfather details his unnerving experiences with a group of scientists who continued their work after being forced to leave the Kenriji family project. Most of the information surrounding formulas and processing is so complex I struggle to understand it, but it is impossible to miss mention of the living dead and the effects of their experiments. He also writes about the scientists struggling to find a key ingredient contingent to the success of creating artificial immortality. This is apparently a strong source of their bitterness directed at the Kenriji family. Every attempt to recreate the Kenriji family potion only resulted in failure. The side effects on patients were dramatic, from deteriorated mental functions and violent behavior to vomiting, and in the worst case, organ failure. Just to manage the chaos of labs, the scientists had to prepare substances that would pacify their human test subjects. That sounds barbaric. Though these substances initially only put test subjects to sleep, my great-great-grandfather writes that a cure for the living dead was ultimately discovered. Really? Though I cannot make out the technical details surrounding multiple formulas for the supposed cure, the mixture for sedating the living dead is surprisingly simple. I have many of the necessary ingredients at home. Wow, okay. I should get the missing ingredients when the store's open. Okay. The next day. What are we gonna do with that? Are we just gonna, like, go and inject living dead people that we see? Are we gonna go after them? It takes a few hours to set everything up and ensure that I'm recreating the recipe exactly as my great-great-grandfather wrote it. By the time I finish my first batch, the sun is already replaced by the moon. That's a long time. That went surprisingly well. There's no guarantee it'll work until I test it on one of the living dead, but going out in the middle of the night without Junoru would be way too dangerous. Sudden knocking on the door startles me. Who is there? Come on, Evillan, it's Jace. Hurry up and open the door. Jace? What could the twins possibly want now? The moment I start to open the door, Jace shoves it fully open himself and stumbles inside, nearly knocking me to the floor in the process. Hey, that hurts. Sorry, it was an emergency. Jace closes the door and leans against it. His clothes have been torn in so many places. Huh? What's going on? The living dead are wreaking havoc out there. This was the nearest place I could hide without causing a panic. You're using my home as a hiding place? Don't drag me into it. Ah, don't worry. I shook the zombies off a few streets back. So they're only a few blocks away? Thanks a lot, Jace. I should have glared towards Jace before running through my house to make sure all the doors and windows are locked shut. Don't worry, you have me here. Am I supposed to feel safe with someone who just ran away? I didn't run away because I couldn't handle them. Blaze just told me not to kill him. Speaking of Blaze, where is he? He's out there trying to deal with them in his own way. I was acting as bait to buy him time. Jace helps himself to the living room, taking a sudden interest in my small stack of newspapers near the couch. Oh right, I found a way to help you subdue the living dead. He flops down onto the couch and smiles at me curiously. Yeah, tell me about it. It's a bit of a long story. I found out my great-great-grandfather was involved with research focused on the living dead. I recreated a sedative they used. There's more to it as well. My great-great-grandfather has all these complex notes about how to make a cure he claims worked to eradicate the living dead. Must have been real effective, given the crowd of them outside. You really think some old sedative might work? Well, we won't know unless we try. That's true. Jace tilts his head slightly and takes a deep breath. We have nothing to lose, I guess. Let's give it a shot. Good, let's go. You told me that there's a large group after you. Isn't this the best time? Jace is hesitant to have me come along, but he lets me hold the bottle of sedative as we head out onto the streets. Where are they? Wait, you're going too fast. Slow down a little. I just heard something from over there. Hurry it up, Evillan. Jace runs toward the noise until we both catch sight of a lone soul walking in the middle of the street. He holds out my hand for the bottle. Give me that. As he tears the bandages off, his fingers distort and morph into a metal claw-like weapon. He opens my potion and pours some of it onto his claw, then charges straight at the person shambling down the street. His target does not even see him before he pierces through their back with his fingers. Everything about Jace's movements are casual as he retracts his weapon and leaves the body to crumple to the ground. His attention goes to his claw, and he takes a cloth from his pocket to wipe off the bloodstains. It seems like your potion is working. Good, great. You look pale. Not a pretty sight, is it? That was kind of scary, yeah. He chuckles at my comment while he drags the body off the street and props it up against a wall. I follow after him to take a close look at our handiwork. Can't say when he'll regain consciousness. I think he should be fine. Jace, that wound. I was a bit aggressive, but that wound will heal in no time. Anyway, there are a whole lot more of these guys. Tell me more of this stuff. This was a proof version. I don't think testing once is enough to go make more. When did I start taking orders from you? Would you rather slaughter people or get slaughtered? Jace stands up and checks the glass bottle I gave him. There's only half of it left. This area isn't safe yet. I need to go back to my brother and let him know about this. Will you make more of this stuff for us if I say please? Alright. Your house isn't far. You can make it there yourself, right? He pats me on the head before leaving, but within the blink of an eye. I glance at the unconscious man before I head home. I'm glad to have finally done something significant about calling the living dead around the village. But all you did was sedate him. Uh-oh. 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 Is it Chain? It better not be Chain. Something feels off when I return home and step into the living room. Ah, it's Rasumi. Fuck you. God damn it, Rasumi. Hurriedly, I turned on the lights to find Rasumi standing near the couch. When did you... Oh god. Rasumi skips up to me with an unsettling smile. Her giggle is the last thing I hear before a sharp pain makes me lose consciousness. Evillan, please open your eyes. Oh, I feel so tired. Somehow my stomach hurts too. Uh-oh. My head aches as I slowly open my eyes. Once I start to get a hold of my surroundings, I realize I've been tied up to a chair. I blink a few times and try to locate the voice. Oh, it's Junoru. I'm shocked to see Junoru sitting opposite me, bound up in the same way I am. Multiple bloody gashes have cut through Junoru's clothing, but the gold of his eyes holds nothing but concern for me. Before I can say anything, Rasumi walks between us. Her usual cheerfulness has been warped into something sinister as she smiles. You're finally awake. I'm confused. Why are we here? Junoru lowers his head and lets out a sigh. Seeing as you're the one responsible for this, Rasumi, perhaps you would care to explain? Aw, I appreciate you thinking of me, but I owe her nothing. Damn. She kidnapped us because we're in her way. I don't know what she plans to do yet. She's controlling the living dead. Bet. While I try to wrap my head around the situation, Rasumi pulls up a chair and sits a few feet away from us. A smirk crosses her face as she enjoys our discomfort. You're just going to sit there and watch us? For now. I just need you to stay put. Damn, the ropes are too tight. I can't plot an escape with Junoru while she's watching either. Never mind, Rasumi. There are other important things I need to tell Junoru anyway. Blace and Jace have plans to take your life. They mentioned that your presence is causing the living dead to go out of control. Blace hasn't made up his mind yet, but at this rate, it's only a matter of time before they come for you. I may have found something that will stop them, though. My great-great-grandfather... Why are you saying this in front of Rasumi? Obviously, she's evil. My great-great-grandfather studied a group of scientists who used powerful sedatives on the living dead. They even found a cure, though I couldn't decipher the formula by myself. Junoru offers me a bittersweet smile, though it quickly fades. I wish the cure was so simple, truly. I have also looked into the work of those who followed after my parents and have seen the unfortunate results for myself. The cure they developed merely rendered the disease inert. Though it remained alive in the host, it ceased invasive progression and appeared to have been eradicated to those unwilling to look further. To make matters worse, the disease was readily carried from mother to child. Though still inert, the process created new generations with even higher concentrations of diseased cells, so all their work just ended up making more living dead. Great. Which means our generation... Yes, your generation is rife with bodies that have a higher concentration of diseased cells than ever seen before. You can easily distinguish them from other people. The immortality potion I consumed so many years ago is what they instinctively crave, as I told you before. It offers the possibility of wholeness, an end to their pain without the release of death. I still lack the knowledge to recreate it. My father truly did take the secret to his grave. Even so, never mind. You know all that. Never mind you all that. Tell me, Junoru. I feel so sorry for every victim the disease has claimed. I do not want to give up. I want to find other solutions because His gaze is so warm as he looks at me, the former sadness of them full of hope. Without him saying it, I know why he wants to help the village. Ju, I had no idea you felt this way. Despite everything that's happening, I feel so happy. It's hopeless. Both of you need to stop looking for solutions. I have plans for the infected, so just stay put. You're a student just like us. Haven't the villagers suffered enough? Huh? There she is. She's revealing herself. Rasumi stands up, rose petals whirling after her movements as she makes strange gestures with her hands. Her whole outfit transforms into something else. Magnificent wings sprout from her back, and she spreads them wide for a moment as if to stretch them. I'm so shocked by this transformation, I can only stare as she approaches me with and rests an arm on my chair. The two of you are so boring. I know it will spice things up. Say, what would happen if you never met Evillan? We can't rewind the past, but we certainly have control over the future. Rasumi grins as she glances back at Junoru. You always seem so composed. Boring. I want to see more of your colors. No, Rasumi. Rasumi rests something heavy on my shoulder. When I glance past her and see Junoru stiffen, I instinctively freeze up. The weight shifts towards my neck and something cold touches my skin. Suddenly, Rasumi draws back and something metallic clatters to the floor. At last, I realize the item she held was some sort of cane. When I shift my gaze back to Junoru, he's no longer in his seat. Rasumi is soon dragged all the way back towards the wall, her hand pinned in place by some invisible force. Junoru places himself between us, and I realize he must be using his telekinetic gift. Rasumi claims to calmly phrase herself and smirks. The tension between Junoru and her is so strong I am certain the fight is inevitable. Thoughts race through my head. I need to stop them. Nope. Load. Stay out of the way. That's the smartest idea she's had in a long time. Oh, this doesn't even give us... Oh, no. Okay. This doesn't give us a ding. So... do we stop them or should we not interfere? Personally, I think the game wants us to stop them. I think we'll end up getting hurt though. Maybe we should just not interfere. That would be the smart thing to do. Oh, I don't know. Alright, we saved, so let's try to stop them. Junoru, don't listen to her. We should focus on escaping. He nods and rushes over to untie me. His telekinesis buys us both some extra time by sending Rasumi's cane flying across the room. Junoru pulls me free just as Rasumi blasts a strange glowing substance towards us. I manage to shove us both out of the way, but still it grazes my leg. A terrible burning sensation follows the impact. I shove a fist into my mouth to stop myself from screaming as my leg gives out from underneath me. Junoru scoops me up in his arms in an instant and rushes towards the exit. His telekinesis bursts the door open before we can even reach it. As we pass through the exit, I glance back. The last thing I see is Rasumi's wicked smile. I cling to Junoru's chest as he runs through the night. I have no idea where we're headed as my mind is distracted from the events. Despite how fast he moves, I hear no heartbeat. With a blush, I realize this is the first time I've been close enough to notice. Though I do not know how much time has passed, we seem to reach the mansion very quickly. Junoru brings me to his room and carefully sets me down onto the bed. He gently cradles the back of my leg with one hand while he looks over my wound. From what I can see, Rasumi's blow inflicted more pain than harm. The epidermis here is red and irritated, but I do not see any blisters. Thank goodness it only seems to be a first-degree burn. Ow, it still kind of hurts. It should heal relatively quickly. Let me apply some salve for now. Evillan, I deeply apologize for what you've gone through. You're the one that had me worried sick. I found the main entrance open, one room splattered with blood, and even more areas broken to pieces. And then you carried me all the way here, despite being injured yourself. Junoru stays quiet while I rant at him. Back there, you could have escaped by yourself. You know that Rasumi is trying to provoke you. If I just kept my mouth shut, maybe she would have left us alone. Forgive me, Evillan. I already told you. Kiss! Aww! What a lovely moment. We're just gonna stay here for a second. Aww, we've earned this. Excuse me. Before I realize it, his lips are on mine. He holds me by the waist in case I lose balance. His lips are cool and surprisingly soft. His hands at my waist supportive as it is gentle. My heart nearly stops before it suddenly starts beating faster. Once he draws back, the tender pressure of his kiss lingers. Junoru draws a handkerchief from his pocket and starts wiping my lips. What are you doing? Please excuse my indulgence. Junoru. I gently grasp his hand and look straight into his eyes. Please don't think badly of yourself. I enjoyed the kiss. I also think we might be more than friends. He stares at me, blushing. I give his hand a soft squeeze before letting go. I should let you rest. Is there anything you need? Will you stay with me? Junoru stares at me, wide-eyed and speechless for a moment as his composure finally cracks. I cannot deny you anything when you look at me like that. Be that as it may, I will only stay if you promise to close your eyes and get some rest. Seeing my disappointed face, Junoru leans in for a soft kiss on my forehead. In the same movement, he gently pushes me down to lay on the bed. My heart skips a beat and does not calm down even after I close my eyes. Junoru remains by my side as I start to doze off. The last thing I feel is him softly stroking my hair. Sweet. We got a kiss! Yay! Yay! This is better than the karate route already. The next day, I can't believe Rasumi just let us go. She probably knows she can get us later. We don't have anywhere to really run to. When I wake up, my body feels rested. I inspect the burn on my leg and it already looks better. It does not hurt unless I put pressure on it. I get out of the bed and look through the drawer of a nearby end table for something to help me look presentable. I manage to find a comb and use it to fix my bed head. After this bit of preparation, I head downstairs. Junoru is already up and about in the living room. He sips on some tea while reading from a large leather-bound album. As I approach, a delicious scent of the promise of breakfast tickles my nose. Morning, Ju. Good morning, Evillan. How do you feel? A lot better. What about you? My wounds have healed quite nicely, thank you. After I take a seat, he gestures to a plate with a silver cloche on the table. Once I open it up, I find some delicately rolled omelets and jellied toast. Ooh. Oh, this looks delicious. Thank you. While I eat, I peek over at the album he's looking through. It's full of vintage newspaper clippings. When I catch the date of one of the articles, I realize it's over 100 years old. Wow. Why are you reading news articles from so long ago? I found these in Father's study some time ago and thought it prudent to preserve them. I always was curious about him. Besides, history in general speaks to me. I guess they had more actual news than countless advertisements like nowadays. You know, I'm a lot more interested in history because of you. Junoru chuckles at my statement and shifts his gaze to me. About yesterday, there are a few things I'd like to ask you. Go ahead. You mentioned quite a few things about the twins and discovering a cure. Could you give me more details about what exactly happened? I tell Junoru more details about my research and the time I spent testing the sedative with Jace. He nods as I speak and rubs his chin in thought. Suddenly, I remembered the bottle I picked up earlier when I was searching the mansion. I take it out of my pocket and hand it to him. Ah, this. Say, Junoru, what if we examine the contents and replicate it to cure the infected people? Junoru lets out a sigh, his expression perplexed as he sets the bottle on the table. I wish it were that simple. I'm still years away from understanding how my father created the formula. That being said, however, I have had the antidote for quite some time. The problem lies in obtaining the ingredients. They must be derived from samples of pure living dead specimens. It is difficult to find these pure specimens because they die within a short time frame. Once the samples are obtained, the antidote is made by injecting the disease into a host that can resist it. The antibodies created by the host through this process are then extracted to form a cure. Okay. Interesting. But where will we find someone who can resist the disease? As far as I am aware, I'm the best host for the process. But won't that kill you? Despite being technically dead, some parts of my body still function. Yeah, which parts of your body still function, Junoru? The process will take a long time. There are certain risks involved, but I'm more than prepared to save the villagers. That you are. You're always prepared, isn't it? You're always ready to set down your life for these villagers. The villagers that ruined your life and killed you. Ju, isn't that dangerous? My body can withstand it. I would not be here otherwise. Despite his words, I cannot help but worry. To think that so many are after your life makes me sad. Junoru beams innocently at me. Where would I be if I stayed mired on the hatred of others? Moving forward is the most important thing, and it means more than you know to have your support. Of course, I'll do everything I can to help. The sedative I made should at least buy us more time. Would you be so kind as to bring the formula for it when you have the chance? I would like to see what similarities it shares with the research I have already done. At any rate, production of the antidote will take time. Your sedative may be the best tool for handling the living dead until the antidote is ready to use. Alright, I'll make more of it. Junoru walks me home later in the day. Both of us are still concerned for one another's safety. Yeah, because Rasumi is still out there. What should I do if Rasumi comes for us again? Ideally, you can stay at my place, but I understand the mansion is not as comfortable as your home. Another option is to stay at a guarded place with lots of people. I can always ask Leoji, I guess. Junoru smiles briefly and gently pats my shoulder before taking his leave. A few days pass by. Just as Leoji said, the school is temporarily closed for investigation. The police have not interrogated me yet, but Leoji assures me that it will not be necessary. While Junoru works on the antidote at his mansion, I keep myself occupied with producing more sedatives. Leoji and his father are constantly busy compiling information from the interrogation, so I handle going out to get the groceries. On the way back from the store, I see a familiar face. Oh, it's Blace. Hi, Blace. It's been a while. He doesn't even break his stride as he glances back at me. I pick up the pace to catch up with him. I assume Jace has told you everything. Did you change your mind about going after Junoru? We have yet to see. He's developing the antidote, but he needs samples from a pure type of living dead specimen that dies within a short amount of time. Do you think you could help us? He closes his eyes and seems to think it over. Come on, Blace. Don't be like Chain. He lets out a sigh and pins his gaze on me. You know there are easier ways to end all this, yet you pick methods that keep making things harder on everyone. But fine, I'll go with you on this. On one condition. I'm delighted, but his last few words give me chills. He's sure to ask for something difficult. If one more innocent person dies as a result of the living dead outbreak, whether it's you or Junoru, things will go our way. Naturally, I'll be the one to judge. So many sacrifices have already been made. You don't want more of them, do you? I guess. No, I don't want to see any more people suffer. Alright, it's agreed then. There's one more thing you should know. Rasumi nearly killed me and Junoru in an effort to stop us from curing the living dead. She definitely has some sort of plan for them. Rasumi? Yes, Rasumi from school. Do you not know that she's an angel? I do, but I don't keep track of everyone's goals. Jace won't like this. Oh? They aren't exactly on good terms. Personal matters aside, I'll keep my guard up. After this conversation, we part ways. Okay. Once I enter the house, I notice there are no shoes at the entryway. Leoji and his dad must not be home yet. I put the groceries down and start another batch of living dead sedative. Oh, no! Not the voices! Not the creepiness! No! No! You're finally home! The strange voice makes me drop the saucepan I was holding. Who is it? I turn around and face a partially decayed woman in the middle of the room. I have no idea how I did not hear her come in. One of the living dead? I need to get her, lead her out of the house, if she's after me. I slowly move towards the door leading outside. Before she can make another move, I run through it. The first thing that comes to my mind is Junoru's place. As I run, I occasionally look to turn to look behind me. As I expected, that person is following me. Once again, I find the main entrance of the mansion left ajar. My face goes pale as I think of what happened the last time it was left open. I find a body laying face down in the living room. On the other side of the room, Junoru is collapsed against the wall. He looks up to me when I call his name. Evillan, do not go upstairs. I have trapped some of the living dead there. There's more coming. One of them chased me here. I help Junoru up. Thankfully, he only has a few minor injuries. I assume he got them while fighting off the living dead. We'll need to use the antidotes I made. I stored them away in the kitchen. They're in the cabinet drawer nearest to the door and are easy to distinguish by their blue color. Could you get some, please? I will keep an eye on any more living dead heading this way. Okay, so in the drawer, blue bottle. I follow his instructions and quickly find what I need. When I return, I find Junoru surrounded by multiple corpses. It looks like he's in a pinch, but using his powers, he easily controls the crowd. I rush to him to give him a helping hand. I kick a body behind Junoru to the floor and look for a rope to bind it in place. Junoru's eyes widen as he watches me. Once I'm finished securing his attacker, I tend to him. Are you okay? Thank you, Evillan. I hand him the antidotes I found. He starts preparing the injection while I assist him. Together we examine and attend the living dead. It takes a while until we finish. Suddenly, exhaustion kicks in. I haven't taken any breaks in the past few days. I don't remember the last time I slept. I bring my hand to my head and close my eyes. Evillan, please take a rest. Oh, right. Junoru whispers comforting words and guides me to the couch. I feel a sensation run through my body after I lie down. This feels nice. I cannot thank you enough for what you have done. Now it is your time to rest. I will get some blankets. You might be hungry as well. Okay. I can't keep my eyes open. Why are we suddenly so sleepy? Is it really just because we're tired, or did something happen to us? Which, if it's been a few days, didn't we take some time off while we were hanging out with Ryoji? Didn't we have like a few days off at least? Or was it all in one day? I wake up to the sound of Junoru calling my name. Junoru sits next to me with a bowl of soup. My vision is so blurry that I struggle to follow his movements. Junoru himself looks exhausted, yet he's pampering me. After my meal, I lay down again. It does not take long before I fall unconscious. ... When I wake up, I feel a dull pain all over my body. I have been ignoring my health, and now everything kicks in at the same time. I try to get up, but a hand gently holds me. You should rest for a few days at least. What happened? Be at ease. You did not miss that much. I close my eyes and try to relax for now. Junoru sits at my side, watching over me. He begins telling me about the events that occurred while I was passed out. Blace passed by and helped Junoru restrain the living dead that had come for me. After applying some of the antidote to them, he took them upstairs to rest. Together, they took care of the other living dead locked up in the mansion. Oh my god, I can't read. Is that all there is to it? Oh, that's Blace's voice. They have similar voices. Yes, although I almost missed out. Oh my god. Yes, although I am almost out of the antidote. I've got something for you. Jace and I found one of your peer specimens rotting in a basement. Rather than disposing of them, I think you'll make good use of them. Ah, I see. Just make sure no one finds out about this. Naturally. Silence fell between them for a short while. Blace looked at me sleeping on the couch. He walked around the living room and observed the environment, memories reflected in his eyes. Barely anything has changed since I was here. You've been taking good care of this place. Thank you. No words can absolve me of my mistakes, but for whatever it's worth, I'm sorry about what happened. My feelings found peace a long time ago, but I appreciate you saying as much. I want to say the same to your brother. He passed away recently. I'm sure your voice will reach him all the same. I'm sorry. Hopefully you'll be able to move on too, my friend. Junoru pats Blace on the shoulder and smiles softly. Blace looks dumbfounded for a second, but accepts his words with a slight nod. I'm proud of how the connection between them improved. Junoru goes on excitedly about his future ideas for us while I quietly listen. Despite my injury and the risk that curing the living dead entails, I support him. I will have to do my best to be more careful, though. I have a good feeling that both of us will make it through this. Junoru holds my hand as he watches me doze off. We spend the rest of the night resting together. Months passed and the village became clear again. The disappearances have stopped. Most of the missing people have been found, dead or alive. The living dead have finally found peace after the hard work of Junoru and the twins. I did what I could to help. Junoru made good use of the gift Blace had left. It was enough for him to experiment and polish the cure he'd been working on. I left Rasumi to the twins, and she's not showed up since that day. After everything found its balance, the twins decided to leave the village. They might come back if any oddities show up again. Frequently, I passed by the mansion to visit Junoru. He planned to renovate and redecorate his place to something more warm. Together, we are aiming for a bright future. 1 month later. Okay, I think we're getting here at the end. So, let's continue on. I'm so curious. I'm so curious as what's going on with Rasumi. Tonight we plan to go on a date. I wait on the couch while Junoru is dressing up. I wonder what place he has in mind. I play with the strand of my hair while my gaze is locked on the stairs. Evillan. Gloved hands rest on each side of my shoulders. I twitch from the touch and gently turn around. Where did you... There are multiple stairs inside this mansion. I thought a little bit of mischief may start the night. Aww. Well then, don't expect me to hold back either. I rest my hand on his and steal his glove. I stand up and walk to the entrance. You'll get it back once you tell me where we're heading. But please. Junoru sighs and approaches me. Once he's close, he stares down into my eyes. Miss Evillan, it will take more for me to spoil this surprise. If you would like, we can continue this play later this night. Junoru leans down to plant a kiss on my forehead. While I'm caught off guard, he takes back his glove and puts it back on. He reaches out his hand and shows a gentle smile. I cannot help but blush. You always surprise me. Romantic end 1. Is there multiple romantic ends? Lonely girl meets lonely guy. Aww, what an achievement. Can we look at the gallery? Okay, let's go to archive. Yeah. Okay, so we have lonely girl meets lonely guy. Going for the safe option. That was the karate route, I believe. Opening theme piano version. We saw that. Beauty and the Bunny. We had that with the karate route. The Smell of Death. That was Chain. Always Violent. That's because we're always choosing the violent option. The Man in Black. I don't remember this one. Interesting. Extra scenes? No. This feature unlocks after completing all endings. Got it. This feature complete. Junoru. Oh, we got like almost all the CGs. Aw, look how handsome Junoru is. Aw, I love it. Aw. Him at the piano. Him getting injured. Us helping him when he's injured. Aww. Okay, I want to load this. And I want to see what happens if we don't interfere. Getting between them seems like a bad idea. I should focus on my own escape first. The cane Rasumi drops rolls next to my foot. If I remember correctly, it seems to have a sharp edge somewhere. Carefully, I try to tip the chair over. I fall to my side. Slowly, I inch closer to the cane until I can get my hands on it. With a bit of luck, I manage to cut the ropes and free myself. I turn my attention back to the confrontation at hand. Rasumi's already has Junoru pinned to the floor. Objects fly around Rasumi, targeting her with pinpoint accuracy. She shields herself with her large wings. Evillan, I can handle her. Please escape while you can. But... Evillan, please. Even though the urge to stay with him is strong, I do as he says. This is gonna lead into a not so great ending. I look for the exit and take the cane with me. When I grab the doorknob, I realize it's locked. I turn around and see Rasumi grinning wildly at me. Let me tell you where the key is. She points at me and gazes directly at my stomach. My eyes widen when I realize what she was implying. I just thought of something interesting. Rasumi bends closer to Junoru and whispers to him. I'm going to regret this once everything is over. This is nothing personal, okay? There's a sudden sickening crack as Rasumi gets a hold of Junoru's neck and shortly twists. Oh no! Junoru, no! Is he dead? Junoru does not even have time to react, instantly going limp against the floor. Slowly, Rasumi stands up and reaches to her cane. Well, looks like your other chance at escape is gone. No, that can't be. I sink down on my knees as I watch Junoru's lifeless body. Tears well up in my eyes as grief overwhelms me. I no longer care about what happens next. Death End 2. Oh man. Achievement. I saw it coming. Interesting. Can we go back to the gallery? We have more archive stuff. Did we get another one? Oh, we did. I saw it coming. Oh, with the saw moment. Okay. So that's going to be it for today's episode of Dark Knights, guys. This is going to be it for the series in general. There are 2 other routes that you can go down. There's the Sachiro route, and there is the Zaikun route. I think Zaikun has to do with the demon in the forest. I don't know what Sachiro is all about, but we did see him getting dragged away earlier in the Junoru route, so I don't know what's going on with Sachiro. He was a little on the young side for me. He seems to be more of like a Shota character, so I was kind of like, I don't really want to go for him. Zyklon is just more of a, like, seems to be more of a gruff kind of guy. Not really like my kind of romance to go after, but he could be very interesting. I am very interested in what's going on with the demon in the forest, so I think he'll have stuff for that. There's some chain that we unlocked, there's some Rasumi we unlocked, there's a Roya scene we unlocked, so there's all kinds of stuff. There's plenty to see and explore in this game, as well as the sketchbook and the extra scenes, which you can only get after you've gotten all the endings. Yeah, completing all the endings. So, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. There's 29 achievements. I don't know if there's 29 endings. I don't know how many endings there are per character and how many death endings there are or anything like that. But if you are interested in picking up this game, I highly recommend it. It's very good. It's a very nice visual novel. There's lots to read. The characters are all very interesting, except for the main character. I had an easier time with her in this route, but in the Karada route, she really grated on my nerves a lot. I think she was on my nerves a lot in this route as well, but obviously they want you to be very involved with the story and very involved with the love interest, so choosing to escape without Junoru or to not help Karado or things like that will lead to like bad endings and death endings and things like that. So we did get a neutral ending with Karado, so I don't know what his good ending looks like. But yeah, that's where we're gonna end it. We are not going to pursue any other routes. You guys can go ahead and do that yourselves if you're interested. Dark Knights is available on Steam, no sponsor. Just, I really like Steam and I really like this game. I think it is a free game on Steam, if I remember correctly. Either that or it's like a couple dollars. Still, it's a really fun game. There's lots of content to it, so I highly recommend you go pick it up for yourself and play the other routes. See what you end up getting and what you end up doing. If you guys want me to revisit this later, down the line, we can always talk about it again and we can come back to Dark Knights and finish up the other routes and see what else is going on. But there still is an overarching mystery of what's going on in the village and all the different love interests and things like that. Again, I still don't really know what's going on with Sachiro, but yeah, I might play this even just by myself later, just to get the other endings and see the other cutscenes and things like that. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with this series. So yeah, that's it for Visual Novel Friday, guys. Thanks for joining me. We're gonna end it here for today. You guys can catch me. We were going to stream D&D and Homestuck this weekend, but Gob has to work, so we are not going to be able to do D&D or Homestuck this weekend, which I did just announce that yesterday on the Discord channel. Again, you can go to the Discord channel by going to the About Me or the Linktree link and hitting the Discord button. It'll take you straight to Discord, and you can add and get added to the group, the server, and see updates and things like that of what's going on with streams. You can chat with other members of the community. You can hang out with us while we do pre-streams and community events, which we're going to be doing very soon. So yeah, there's lots of stuff going on in the Discord channel, so I hope you guys go ahead and check that out if you're interested. Other than that, there's also the VODs channel if you want to go check out the other routes that we did, the Karada route. That one was very fun. So you can check that out on the VODs channel, as well as the first parts to the Junoru route if you're showing up today and you're like, what is this? It's all on the VODs channel, so go to youtube.com/@princessevillanvods, and it will show you all the playlists for Dark Knights, as well as other games that we're playing this week, including Deponia, Homestuck, Pokemon Fusion, Fable, things like that. So yeah. Anyways, next week we'll be playing a new visual novel. I haven't decided if I want to go for a spooky visual novel or if I want to go for a more like romantic, lovey-dovey kind of visual novel. I did like the romance in this story. I wish we got a lot of it in the Junoru route. We didn't get as much of it in the Karada route, I feel. I think that's partially because of the choices that we made in the beginning, when I didn't know that the ding meant that we chose the right choice. So the only time it didn't give us that ding was in that death route ending, and we chose the right choice anyways. So yeah. Anyways, we'll be doing something new next week, so join me next week on Friday. You can join me Tuesday. We'll be playing Fable Anniversary. We've been playing it for the past few weeks. It's very fun. We're getting into the meat and potatoes of that, so come join me for some RPG fun. And Wednesday we have Homestuck, so if you're into the Homestuck streams, you can catch that on Wednesday. Is the next time we'll be having a stream for that. Thursday is Deponia, The Complete Journey, and Friday is another visual novel, the new visual novel. So yeah, if you're interested in anything that's going on, go to the schedule tab on the Twitch page, check that out, check out the VODs channel, and yeah, check out the Discord, definitely. But anyways, I'll see you guys later. Bye guys, have a great one, have a great weekend. I'll see you guys next week in March. And yeah, have a great weekend, everybody. I'll see you later. Bye, guys. Bye.